Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron, and welcome back today to another live stream. We're going to talk about Bramley-Moore dock today. Everton have confirmed that construction on a new stadium at Bramley-Moore dock will commence on Monday the 26th of July. Absolutely fantastic news, really positive news for the football club. Of course, this is the moment we've been waiting for years. In fact, the Bramley-Moore dock project has been going on for years now, and you always get those those Evertonians, and understandably so, that always say, I'll believe it's getting built when there's a first spade in the ground, when the spade's getting put in the ground, when the building work, when the construction work actually starts and begins and is permitted, of course. And of course there's a massive process you have to go through when you're building a stadium, and when you're undergoing a project as big as this one, in regards to planning permission and permission from the council and the government and this, that and the other. And Everton, of course, have gone through all of that. They've done it in the completely, the right way. And now the news that we've all sort of been waiting for, like I said, for years now, that Everton will confirm, or have confirmed, the start date for the construction on Bramley-Moore docks to begin, and that is Monday the 26th of July. So only a few weeks away from now, just over 3 weeks time, there will be a spade in the ground at Bramley-Moore dock. And I know there'll be still some Blues that say, look, I'm not going to believe it until I'm sitting in the stadium and until I've got my season ticket and I'm there and I'm watching Everton there, and that's absolutely fine. But we can't undermine how big of a step forward this is for the football club, and how big of an announcement this is as well. And obviously it come after the announcement of Rafael Benitez as the new Everton manager on Wednesday. We sat down yesterday, we spoke about that. We also spoke about it on Wednesday as well. And I feel like Rafa Benitez coming in as Everton manager has sort of settled with a lot of Evertonians now. I feel like it's an appointment. There we go. I do apologise about that. Must be a new record. That literally 2 minutes into the stream, it decides to cut itself off. But we are back, like I said, after the news of Rafa Benitez's appointment as new Everton manager on Wednesday. There was a little bit of, sort of upset on Wednesday. I feel like we all knew it was coming, and that information had digested and sort of settled with a lot of Evertonians. Certainly myself, I'm relatively happy about the whole situation now. I'm just made up that we've got a manager, he's announced, and we can actually start to move forward and look at, improving the squad ahead of next season. But obviously this was the other sort of bit of information that was on everybody's mind, is the stadium. When's the stadium gonna begin building work? Obviously we've already had the planning permission. The government had decided not to oppose anything, so it was all sort of ready to go. We heard a couple of weeks ago that Everton were putting out surveys and surveying the whole area to make sure that everything is absolutely spot on, ahead of starting construction work. And it was just that wait as to, right, okay, when will construction work start? When will we be able to see some physical advances with Bramley-Moore dock? Because as much as we've seen obviously a lot of advances over the last few months or so in regards to the planning permission, and like I said, the government deciding not to step in, and obviously the surveys being done, we haven't actually seen any physical advances. Bramley-Moore dock still looks as it did a few months ago, albeit it's probably got a little bit more sort of materials on it now, and maybe a couple of bits of machinery to get the build started, but nothing really has massively changed on Bramley-Moore dock, although a lot's changed in the background. So this is massive information, and it's brilliant that the club have been able to come out and announce this. So there you go, Everton have confirmed that the construction work on Bramley-Moore dock to build a new stadium at Bramley-Moore dock will commence on Monday the 26th of July. We'll read the Everton statement out as well, so we can get as much information in there as possible. Everton said that Everton can confirm it will take possession of Bramley-Moore dock site on Monday the 26th of July, with contractors immediately beginning the first phase of the project. That first phase of the development will be the enabling works to prepare the dock site in readiness for the build. Work will include the repair and preservation of the Grade 2 listed dock wall, stabilising of the hydraulic tower located on the site, the development of welfare facilities for Lang O'Rourke construction staff, the preparation for demolition for demolition of existing non-listed structures, and raking of the dock floor. Pipework will also be installed that will be used for infilling of the dock. Once these works are completed, Lang O'Rourke will begin the process of infilling the dock. So there you go. We obviously, we've known that the first, one of the first jobs to be done on Bramley-Moore dock, of course, is to fill the actual dock in itself. You can't build a stadium on top of water, can you? That would need to be filled in. So we know, listen, again, don't expect to drive past Bramley-Moore dock in the first week of August or the first week of September and see half of a stadium put up, or be able to sit there and go, oh, there's the football pitch, there's where I'm going to sit, there's the director's box getting built. No, you're not going to see any of that stuff just yet, but what we will see is the works that go on before the actual stadium can be built, i.e. filling the dock, i.e. making sure that any listed buildings there are looked after well, and any non-listed buildings can have doing what they need to be done with them, whether they'll be disposed of, the demolition of existing non-listed structures as well. So any non-listed structures that are there and don't need to be there, and Everton do not need, will be demolished in order, obviously, for the new stadium to be put up. And this will all begin work on the 26th of July, which, again, like I said, is absolutely phenomenal. It really, really is. It's the news that we've all been waiting for. It's the news that we've all wanted, and it's the news of actual physical construction work and Everton actually being physically on the site. That we've all been craving for, haven't we? Yes, it's brilliant when the planning permission was brought out. Yes, it was brilliant when we heard the news that it wasn't going to get opposed by the government. Yes, it was boss last week when we heard, or the week before when we heard about the fact that the surveys are being done. But we all wanted the real sort of bits of news and information, and that is that Everton actually on site physically showing that the work is being done for Bramley-Moore dock, and that will commence on the 26th. Like I said, in filling of the dock, the destruction or the demolition of any non-listed buildings and structures, and of course the reservation of listed buildings will be first amongst the list of jobs for Lang O'Rourke to complete before they can get going with obviously building the stadium. So very, very exciting news. Everton chairman Bill Kenwright has been talking about the new stadium and specifically this advancement. He has said, we are thrilled to be able to confirm that the construction work will commence on our new stadium later this month. He said this will be a monumentous day in the history of the club and is a testament to the ambition and financial commitment of Farhad and the determination and talent of Denise and her executive team at the club. He also said, like every Evertonian, Goodison Park has been a massive part of my life, but in moving forward we could not have found a more fitting nor more glorious site for our new stadium. He says one which will both honour our history and celebrate our magnificent future. And reading things like that really does make it seem real, doesn't it? And make it seem very emotional. I mean, I was sitting there yesterday, obviously, when the news broke and when the news was put out there, and I was quite happy and I was quite excited, and I thought, yes, get in, again, a further advancement, the work's going to begin, and the more and more I think about it, and the more I know that I'm going to be driving past Bramley-Moore dock in a year or 2 years time or something like that, and we'll actually see, the physical stadium being built, and the skeleton, if you like, of Everton's future, the more and more it also settles in that we haven't got long left at Goodison Park. And this is why again, I think it's really important that when we do get back to Goodison Park, and when we can get back to Goodison Park, there's talk today that the government or the Premier League are expecting the government to allow fans back at stadiums in rather a full near enough a full capacity for the start of the season. So when we do get back to Goodison Park, I really don't think there's any time to worry about whether we like or don't like Rafa Benitez on the sideline, or worry about the players on the pitch, or whether we do or don't like the players on the pitch. I think we just have to enjoy and savour every single moment at Goodison Park, because we're not going to be there for much longer. And I know 3 or 4 years seems like a long time, and I know 3 or 4 years is like, well, don't be silly, Cam, we've still got loads of time left at Goodison. But it really, really isn't a long time whatsoever. I've not been at Goodison, and I'm sure a lot of people are the same in this sense, for 18 months. And those that have been in Goodison for the last, or in Goodison, maybe once or twice in the last 18 months. It hasn't been the Goodison that we know and love. It hasn't been the Goodison that we're used to going to every single week, screaming and singing our hearts out for Everton Football Club. It's been a Goodison Park with obviously with a restricted crowd in terms of numbers, with various different different things put in place for obviously because of what's happened in the last year or so. So we really haven't got a lot of time left at Goodison Park, and that's sort of starting to sink in a little bit more now. It sank in massively when the planning permission was granted, and although that was a fantastic day and there was so much positivity and so much excitement about the future, there was also that little bit, certainly for me, I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but there was also that little bit of sort of the gulp in your throat. That's like, do you know what? We haven't got much longer left here. We really, really haven't got much longer left. And yes, we do need a new stadium, and B-Wang says we have to stop the time of the stadium. It's great now it's aged and the club can't monetize it. We need a ground that keeps us competitive. You're spot on, and I'm completely for Bramley-Moore Dock. Of course I am. Bramley-Moore Docks is going to be the biggest thing to happen in Everton's recent history, without a shadow of a doubt. The biggest thing to happen in Everton's recent history. Maybe Everton's history as a whole, it will be the biggest thing to happen, because like you said, it will open many more doors for us. It really will. Again, obviously we've got to improve on the pitch, of course we have, and moving into Bramley-Moore Dock isn't automatically going to mean that certain players at the club now are going to become better. They're not. Obviously we need to improve the players on the pitch and how we're performing, but it's a massive step for the club, and it's a step we desperately need to take. But it doesn't mean that last day at Goodison Park, or not even the last day, the last season at Goodison Park, or from now onwards, again, before the pandemic, before obviously we weren't able to go to Goodison Park in a full capacity, we knew Bramley-Moore was happening. We knew Bramley-Moore was likely to happen. We knew there was plans there. We knew there was thoughts there, but it wasn't as far down the line, obviously, as it is now. We weren't sat at Goodison when we played Manchester United and we drew. I think it was 2-2, and it was the referee on the day that absolutely done us out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring a winner. Anyway, Chris Cavanagh it was, done us out of winning that game of football. We weren't sitting at Goodison Park thinking, right, okay, the planning permission's gone through for the new stadium, the government's haven't opposed it, the funding's there for the new stadium, the building work is going to begin in a couple of weeks' time. At that point, we were very much, we're going to be building a new stadium, and that's great, but it's not as far down the line as obviously what it is now, and now when we get back to Goodison Park, we know that, okay, there's going to become a time in the next couple of years where we'll be saying goodbye to Goodison, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to cope on that day. I really, really don't, because I just think I'll be an absolute emotional wreck, and I know I'll be an absolute emotional wreck because Goodison Park is my home. I've been going for 20 years of my life, and I don't want to leave. I want to move into Bramley-Moore, and I want a new stadium, of course I do, but I don't want to leave Goodison Park behind. I really don't. So we need to savour every moment. We really, really do. We need to savour every moment, and we need to make sure that when we're at Goodison Park, we're just purely thinking about, being at Goodison Park, and, obviously the football matters and the manager and this, that and the other, but we haven't got very long left there at all. We will get in the comments in a moment. By the way, Keith Van Santi has donated £5 to the live stream. Thank you very much, Keith. Once again, he says, hey Cam, hoping the new home kits come out soon. I have to get it shipped to the USA. Keep up the videos, bro. Come on, you Blues. Thank you very much, Keith. Really do appreciate that. I'm not too sure when the new home kit will be announced. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure, but hopefully I would assume it'll be pretty soon, considering pre-season starts on Monday. So I would assume that it would be fairly soon that the new home kit is revealed or released at the very least. Denise Barrett-Baxendale, Everton CEO, was talking about the new stadium build as well. She has said that this moment will rank as one of the most important in the club's histories, as it symbolises a new era for Evertonians, an era which will see our supporters, their children and their children's children supporting their team in one of the finest stadiums in world football. This project presents such an exciting future for our club and is a clear demonstration of our owners' commitment and ambition. I would like to thank everybody who has played a part in helping us reach this point, my colleagues who have ensured this project has remained on schedule despite the challenging circumstances presented by the pandemic. It also says business leaders and politicians, the people of the city, and of course our supporters who have given us their unwavering support at every stage of this project. She also goes on to say, I would also like to thank Lang O'Rourke and look forward to working with them and seeing our stunning designs become a reality in the years ahead. So very, very, very positive words there from Denise Barrett-Baxendale regarding the new stadium, regarding the process, and regarding her work in obviously the stadium build. And I think Denise Barrett-Baxendale, along with everybody at Everton that is involved in the stadium build, should get a lot of credit. Obviously, there's a lot of people that aren't happy with the board for footballing reasons, and that's fine. Of course, it's fine, because at the moment we're not good enough on the pitch, we're not consistent enough. Hopefully, the new manager and a few new players coming in will change that. But in regards to the background work and the stadium stuff, it's very, very hard to have a go at anybody that's been involved in this project, because it's massive for the football club. It really, really is massive for the football club. Beavang has donated 38. I don't know whether that's Hong Kong dollars. I'm not too sure what that currency is, but 38. Thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that, mate. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. And you're seeing there, a reoccurring message from both Denise Barrett-Baxendale and Bill Kenwright there was thanking the owner, thanking Farhad Moshiri. Now, Farhad Moshiri's come under a lot of criticism in recent weeks from Evertonians, and look, understandably so. And some Evertonians will listen to this information I'm about to read in a moment and say, I don't care, Cam, doesn't matter, he still employed the manager that we don't want to hear at the club, or this, that and the other. And that's fine. Listen, you can have your opinion on Farhad Moshiri, and everybody's obviously entitled to their own opinion, and some fans will like him and some fans will not like him. But Greg O'Keefe from The Athletic published a really, really interesting and insightful article yesterday regarding the new stadium, and there's also posted one about Rafa Benitez's appointment and the type of manager that Rafa Benitez is in himself. So if you haven't checked those articles out, please do go and check those out. But Greg O'Keefe reported that the first phase of construction will be funded directly by Farhad Moshiri. The club are edging closer to announcing their funding deal for the second phase, construction of stadium proper, with their aim still to be complete, if possible, by 2024-2025. So again, Farhad Moshiri, who is again coming out and funding the first stage of the stadium build, whether he'll be all involved or not in funding the further stages, the latter stages, we don't know. But listen, Farhad's coming out himself, and whether it's his money, whether it's the club's money, however you want to see it, he will be funding the first stage or the first phase of the construction for Bramley-Moore Dock, which look, again, we can have our opinions, we can have our thoughts on the board and their capability of making footballing decisions, and I'm sure, depending on how successful Rafael Benitez is as Everton manager or not, we'll form those opinions, of course. But in regards to the background work, and obviously, providing us with something that we've desperately needed for years and years now, in a new stadium, a new home, in order for us to move forward as a football club, I think Everton have done very, very, very well with this. And some people were saying, oh my God, why only, they've only announced it because of the Benitez stuff, or here we go, surprise, surprise, they've announced it after the Benitez announcement. What difference does it make? Everton could confirm yesterday that construction work on Bramley-Moore Dock will start on the 26th of July. If Benitez had been announced 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, if Benitez had been announced tomorrow or on Monday, that news regarding Bramley-Moore Dock has got nothing to do with the appointment of Rafael Benitez as Everton manager. That news has got everything to do with Everton's new stadium that has been in the planning and in the works for 3 or 4 years now. And this is a massive, 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 massive advance in those plans and in that project. So I'm made up that Everton have been able to announce it. I think it's fantastic news. Really, really positive. I can't wait, like I said, to drive past Bramley-Moore Dock in the coming weeks and see, again, some physical work being done there, and some physical adjustments and movements and construction work, etc. And then hopefully within, the next few months and maybe next year, and going into, the summer of next year, we'll actually see some physical building work of the new stadium, because I get that people are still quite pessimistic about the situation, and I get that people are still let's see when it starts to get built, let's see when it's actually up, and when it's actually when we're actually sitting in it. And I understand that, but it's happening. It's very, very much happening. Farhad Moshiri's funding the first phase of the stadium. and Everton are close to agreeing a deal or certainly agreeing to announce who will be funding the second phase. So wonder who that'll be, whether it'll be Uncle Alisher or somebody else, who knows. But look, fantastic news. Of course it's fantastic news. It's big for the club's future, and again, it's great that we've now taken that step forward. A lot of people were sort of, when the planning permission was announced, and even a couple of weeks ago when they announced about these surveys and the tests that were going to be done on site, a lot of people were still sort of adamant on let's wait and see until there's a first spade in the ground. Let's wait and see until if for when the construction work actually starts. Well, there you go. If you're wanting to drive past Bramley-Moore Monday the 26th of July, probably isn't the best time to do it actually, because there'll probably be loads of things going on and loads of different machinery getting put on the site, so you probably won't be able to get anywhere near it. But that is when construction work will start on the new stadium, which is absolutely fantastic. Massive news. And yeah, brilliant for the football club. If you're enjoying this team so far, by the way, hit that thumbs up button. It only takes a second, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you could share the stream out, by the way, it would only take a second. Let's get into some of the live comments then, before we get into talking about some other topics that have been going on over the last 48 hours or so. To the Oliver says, get in. I can't say that last word, but there you go. Liam says, afternoon, Cam lad. Afternoon, Liam. I hope you're doing well, my mate. B, still not happy. Is it still not settled, mate? I'd like to hear everyone's opinion on the Rafa Benitez stuff. If you were against Rafa Benitez coming to Everton Football Club, and look, he wasn't my first choice. I said, openly a week or so ago, I think as I even said earlier this week, he wasn't my first choice, and he wouldn't have been my first choice. But as it not, now that he's the Everton manager, and he's been the Everton manager for nearly 48 hours now, is this news not settled with everybody? Is it not digested? Is it not sort of just to a point now where we're all thinking, okay, we mightn't have wanted Rafa Benitez, he mightn't be ideal, but he's the new Everton manager? I've been reading, a little bit up on Rafa Benitez in recent days, and there's a lot of positive stuff to be read about him. If anybody's seen the Toffee TV interview that went up yesterday with Guillem Balaguer, and I know Guillem Balaguer obviously has got a personal relationship with Rafa Benitez, and I understand that, he's never going to come out and say anything bad about him or slag him off, because he's close friends with him, he's wrote books with him and everything. But Baz sat down with Guillem Balaguer, and Guillem Balaguer is a really insightful journalist, and he just goes over some of the reasons as to why Rafa Benitez could massively succeed at Everton Football Club. And he says something in the interview, I think, along the lines of, if you're not going to back him, don't go against him. So if you're not happy with Rafa Benitez and you don't want to, sing his name and be absolutely, screaming and shouting over him, don't go against the team and go against him. Just support the club, support the team. And I think that's a really, really interesting thing to say from Guillem Balaguer, and I think it's spot on as well. If you haven't seen that full interview, by the way, go and check it out. It's on Toffee TV now. It's absolutely fantastic interview that Baz did. But I've been reading some stuff myself over the last 24 hours or so, and Rafa Benitez seems like a very, very, very dedicated man to his job. There's articles out there. The Athletic, like I said, published a really, really interesting article. I think it was yesterday, talking about how he's always the first in the changing room first in the training facility, so USM Finch Farm of a morning, and he'll be the last out of a night as well. He's been known to sleep at training grounds before, because he's a 24/7 worker. He's constantly working. One of the big sort of ticks, I suppose, in the Rafa Benitez box for when he was interviewed by Everton was he'd already done an audit of the squad when he was first made aware that Everton were interested in him, and he had that first round of talks before he'd even been interviewed, before anything was even in an advanced stage. He'd done a complete audit of the squad and determined what we need and where we need to improve and where we need to go, and what players can do what and can have a part to play in the team next season. Now, for a manager to do that before he's even been offered the job shows clear dedication, and it really does absolutely blow out this sort of conspiracy, if you want to call it that, or this thought that Rafa Benitez is only here for the money. He's only here to get by. He's not going to be interested in the job. He's not going to care because he's a Liverpool. He's managed Liverpool, this, that, and the other. Rafa Benitez is a top professional, whether you like him or not. He's a top professional. And whilst Everton manager, I honestly do believe he will work as hard, if not harder, because he's got a fan base now, or certainly a large part of a fan base to try and rally and get behind him. Whereas any other club he's been at, there hasn't been a natural sort of discontent with his appointment. Everybody's being fairly, happy, and he's had to just, take that and roll with it. Whereas at Everton, he's coming in where there's a lot of Evertonians that are completely against the appointment. So I firmly do believe that Rafa Benitez will work, like I said, as hard, if not harder, than he's done at any other football club. And this is a man who's been known to sleep over in training facilities because he's constantly working. He's a 24/7 worker. He uses data. He analyses squads. He's already done an audit of Everton's squad. He said in his first interview that one of the first things he done when he entered Finch Farm was have a look at the transfer list and see who's on it and who we're going to bring in the summer. Now, Rafa Benitez could have gone into Finch Farm on Wednesday afternoon when he was announced, or when he was due to be announced, and just sort of put his feet up and allowed Duncan Ferguson or David Unsworth or Leighton Baines to talk him through how the football club works, and just sort of took it easy, and maybe had a little play about with the printer and logged onto his computer and took a few pictures saying, look, I'm in my new office and this, that, and the other. But it seems like, if you read between the lines of his interview, it seems like he's almost gone in and gone, right, let's get it started then, let's get to work. Who we signing in the summer? Where's the transfer list? I've got this audit. Where's what happens in this room? Where's these facilities? Where's Marcel Brands? What's Marcel Brands' number? Let me talk to him. Jordan Pickford come out yesterday, had a press conference with England, said, obviously he was talking about Carlo Ancelotti leaving, and said it's very it was very much a shock. It was very much a shock that he left the football club. He said the new manager coming in, Rafa Benitez, is very experienced. He's won trophies, and he said that Rafa Benitez had called him, the night before, and said, wished him luck in the tournament, and said he'll see him when he gets home. Now, Rafa Benitez is a man who some Evertonians didn't think wanted to work for Everton. Some Evertonians don't think he cares about being here. Don't think he wants to do as good a job as possible. Just think he's here to get by and pick up a payday. This is a fella that a lot of Evertonians were against coming in. He's come in within 48 hours of him being Everton manager. He's done an audit of the squad, which he done before he was even announced. He's already talking about transfers and Marcel Brands and where we're going as a club. And he's called Jordan Pickford, so I can only assume he's called other players within the squad to sort of introduce himself and say, if they're in international tournaments like Jordan Pickford, good luck, do well, get your head down, and we'll see you when you get home. That's exactly what I want. That is exactly what I want from a manager. And whether it be Rafa Benitez or not Rafa Benitez, whether the manager who's at Everton have managed Liverpool before or not, I want a proactive manager. I want a manager that doesn't just see himself as I turn up, I talk to some players, I tell them which formation to go in, and I get home. I want a manager that's going to come in, and if things aren't going right at the football club, say no. Not completely and utterly demand, because obviously there's processes in the club. There's Marcel Brands there, so with transfers, obviously Rafa Benitez will have to work with Marcel Brands, and they'll have to have that relationship. I get all of that, but you want a manager that's proactive. You want a manager that's doing audits, that's working, round the clock 24/7 to try and improve the club. And Rafa Benitez is a top professional, and I've been reading little things over the last 24, 48 hours or so of that's what he's like. He will, be first in the training ground to be last out. He will be working on constantly improving the squad, using data, this, that, and the other. And for me, I'm made up with that. I'm made up with it that Everton have brought in a proactive manager. Everton might have done a round full of interviews with, various different names, and the various different names have come in and gone, yeah, I want the job, it'd be nice to get the job, yeah, I'd like to go to I'll come to Finch Farm, I'll check it out, this, that, and the other, yeah, it'd be interesting, this, blah, blah, blah. Rafa Benitez might have come into the job and gone and thought, right, okay, I'm already starting from further back than what they all are, because I've got a connection with the other club in the city, and some things I've said previously. So he might have come into the interview and gone, before you even start talking to me, there's an audit of your entire squad. That's what I think needs to happen going forward. How can anybody not be impressed with that type of proactiveness? Anyway, let's get back in the live comments. A little bit of a rant about Rafa there, but let's get back in the live comments. Tom says, from the Whittle and watching from Sydney, great show. Cheers, Tom. Thank you very much, my mate. Really appreciate that. Celtic Babe says, wouldn't need to be a fortune teller that someone will be announced after Rafa's appointment. Yeah, well, again, look, the club had information to announce, and it's positive info. It's not like they've come out, is it, and gone, just so you know, Bramley-Moore is still in town. Yeah, it's still in town. It's still near the Titanic Hotel, and we're happy to confirm that it's still near the Titanic Hotel. It's not useless information that they've just come out and announced for the sake of it. They're announcing information that construction work will begin. Take away the Rafa Benitez stuff and the Rafa Benitez announcement. This information is massive for the football club. It's massive for the future of the football club. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching live, get your thoughts in the live comments and we'll get involved with as many of them. If you're watching the YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as well. Liam says, is right, Tom, is right. Liam, Simon says, when are the other shirts coming out? I read that something else. And what's the third shirt colour? I don't know what the colour of the third shirt is. And when they'll be announced, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I would assume the home one will be soon because obviously pre-season starting on Monday and the first pre-season friendlies will be beginning in the next couple of weeks or so. Obviously, Everton are due to go over to Florida, so I would assume it would be out by then. But I don't know. That's just me sort of assuming and putting two and two together. Liam says, wouldn't blame Everton for holding back this news considering the vulgarity we've seen last week. Well, they haven't held back the news, they've confirmed it. Raymond says, Silva has gone to Fulham yet. Former Everton manager Marco Silva is the new manager of Fulham. Best of luck to Marco Silva, don't mind him as a fella. Thought he was a relatively decent fella, not the greatest manager. But, again, there was a lot of things that went wrong at Everton during Marco Silva's time that weren't necessarily... or shouldn't have necessarily been just put down to Marco Silva, put it that way. Liam says, anyone else doing their own timeline pics of the new stadium? Me and my two little blues can't wait. Is right, Liam. Brilliant to see. Neil Satters and Izzy Optimum says, I personally think Rafa will do a good job for us and prove the haters wrong. Let's hope so. Jeff says, not being funny, mate, but the club is a mess. Any new stadium is not going to fix the incompetence of our board members. New stadiums has not improved Tottenham or Arsenal. Listen, the new stadium is massively needed for the future of the football club. It really, really is. And ultimately, again... We need to move out of Goodison Park. As much as it's going to hurt us and it's going to be horrible that last day, it really, really is. We need to move out and we need obviously to to build on the future of the football club. And look, yes, there's other issues at the club. There's issues on the playing field, of course. There was issues with the management until 24 hours ago when we announced the new manager. But hopefully Rafa Benitez is the right man for the job. Hopefully he's going to be a resounding success. Hopefully he can bring success to the city of Liverpool. Not to the city of Liverpool. He's already done that. To Everton Football Club, but within the city of Liverpool. That's what obviously he talks about. And yeah, look, that's all we can hope for, isn't it? That's all we can hope for. Neil Satter says, why is the club a mess? Liam says, never would staying at Goodison Park, Jeff. B. Vang says, we have to stop the drama. The stadium is great now, it's age. We talked about that one before. Keith says, new managers every season, players on big wages, players that are different systems and don't match what we need. About 6 new players. The club's are a mess, but it will get better. Philip says, it's great seeing all the Liverpool fans having a collective meltdown. B. Wang says, we need to focus on Everton being better. And today that means improving in all aspects. Exactly. William says, Phil, how's it going? Phil says, hi, Wormy. Neil Satter says, by the time we get to Bramley-Moore, the deadwood will be gone. He also says we have to give Rafa a chance. Mr. Monk says, does anyone want Rafa out or just me? Probably in a minority there, mate. You're probably in a minority. Where we go. Hang on a sec. Hernandez in the comments, he says, hope all is well, mate. How is Jess? Jess is boss, mate. Jess is absolutely boss. I haven't seen her for a while. Tell her we all said hello. I will do, mate. I'll let her know later tonight. Obviously, she's in work at the moment, but I'll be seeing her later tonight. He says, what do you make of the Coutinho links? Came back after hearing about it a while ago. I don't think anything of them, to be honest with you. I don't want Philippe Coutinho at Everton. I really, really don't. I don't think Philippe Coutinho is good enough to play for Everton Football Club at the moment. I don't think he's what Everton need. Obviously, he's a very good footballer. Technically, he's a very good footballer. But as I said, 2, 3, 4 months ago, I just don't think he's what Everton need. I really don't think he's what Everton need. I think he's at an age which is an age that we should be trying to avoid. I think he's had various injury issues recently, which is again something that we don't need. And I just think maybe it's his agent trying to, get a move or trying to, sort of throw his name out there a little bit to try and spark some attention on him. Obviously, because he hasn't got much of a future at Barcelona, according to the reports that we're reading. So I don't want Philippe Coutinho, and I don't really believe there's much truth in the rumour either. Mark says, I need to unsubscribe. Sorry, 6 times you mentioned who is paying for phase 1. 3/4 about audits, 4 times about him sleeping at the ground. It's just too repetitive. Good luck. Well, I haven't mentioned 6 times about who's paying for phase 1. I literally said Farhad Moshiri is paying for phase 1 about twice. But listen, mate, if that's what you've got to do, then sound. See you later. Philip says, put another poll up, Cam, happy or not happy? What about Phil? And I'll get it up. We like a poll. Everyone says, what would you like a poll about? And I'll get it up there. Mikey says, Cam reckons the players will turn up and have a negative mindset after Rafa already just because of all the bad press. No, I don't think they will. Or they shouldn't anyway, because if the players turn up on day 1 and Rafa Benitez greets them, and ultimately, greets them and has a good relationship with them and talks positively to them, then why should they have a bad attitude because of all of the bad press? All as they should be thinking is, right, we've got a new manager, let's see how this new manager is, let's see what he's like, let's see what his philosophies are, let's see how he performs, let's see how he plays. So yeah, I don't think the players will have much issue whatsoever. Poll about Rafa, people are asking. Okay, let's get a poll. Has the Benitez news... I'll say Benitez as manager, happy, not happy. There you go, another poll. Hang on. Coming in the live comments, so get onto that one. Benitez as manager, happy or not happy? There you go. Let us know your thoughts. If you're watching live, get voting on that poll. It is in the live comments. If you're enjoying it, the thumbs up button as well. It literally only takes a second, and it does massively, massively help us out. It really, really does. Yeah, we're not going to talk too much about the other news because we're going to do an other news video within the next couple of days or so. New series I've started on the channel. I hope you all are enjoying the new series. It's basically a series where we sit down and we talk about everything else that's not what we've talked about in the last week. So we're going to talk about the Ben White stuff. We're going to talk about James Rodriguez. We're going to talk about Philippe Coutinho. We're going to talk about Moise Kean in that video as well. This one was specifically for Bramley-Moore Doc. William says happy, not happy. Rafa poll. Phil says Rafa. Daniel says poll about Rafa. Anthony says happy. Listen, the poll is in the comments, in the live comments. If you're watching live, you'll be able to vote on it. Go over, give it a vote, and we'll talk about the results at the end of the stream. B says there is no poll on Rafa out. There should be a poll now in the comments. 37 people have voted on it so far. Happy or not happy with Rafa? If you scroll up, you should be able to see it. Leave a like as well if you're enjoying while you're there, and subscribe. We've lost 1 subscriber because I'm too repetitive, so if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Semi says, I'm good. Forgive my tardiness, lads. What's happening, Semi? Hope you're doing well, my mate. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, look, listen, the Bramley-Moore news is of course absolutely fantastic. And again, it's a massive step forward for the future of the football club, which is exactly what we need. Joel says, the last day that is going to be heartbreaking, mate. Last day at Goodison, there's going to be heartbreaking, mate. I'm going to be in tears and won't want to leave. Yeah, you're not alone in that one, mate. You're not alone. Mr. Monk says, so I can't have my opinion. No, you can have your opinion. Of course you can have your opinion, mate. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Of course they are. I just said you're probably in a minority with that opinion because I think a lot of people have settled to the idea of Rafa now. Listen, get your vote in. 45, 48 people currently voted, so get your vote in before we do finish the stream up. But of course, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Tom says, I'm hoping for the Oz borders to be open in time for me to travel and go back to Goodison Park one last time. I spent 14 years going every home game before moving to Sydney in 2014, hearing that said cars ring out. Yeah. Absolutely, mate, absolutely. Hopefully you can get back. Hopefully you can. I'm sure you will be able to, because the new stadium's not going to be built for another 4 or 5 years, so I'm sure you will be able to. Well, 3-4 years probably, actually. Neil Satters says, Z cards for the last time will be very emotional. Liam says, reckon leaving Goodison is going to feel like that day you left primary school, not looking forward to. I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be worse, because if you think of it, you're in primary school for what? 6-7 years, something like that, out of your life. We've been at Goodison for all of our lives. Whether you're 15, you've been going since you were 15. For 15 years. Whether you're 20 like me, I've been going for 18, 19, 20 years, something like that. Some people have been going 50 years, 60 years, 40 years. So I think it'd be worse. Beveng says, on the squad side, how many players do we have over 29 years old? Yes, HK dollars, mate. Thank you very much, Beveng. Really appreciate it. Too many, to be honest. Enough to not have to go and sign many more. Put it that way, enough to not go and sign any more. But yeah, look. Terry McAllister, what's happening, Terry? Really appreciate it. He says, big up, Cam, for getting me through my Friday afternoon work. And everybody remember to support with the like button. It costs nothing, remember. Thank you very much, Terry. Really, really do appreciate that, mate. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. Semi says, smash the like button. Is right, Semi. Everton, Tony and Luke says, ignore him. Cam, keep up the hard work. Listen to you all the time while I'm in work. Thank you very much, everybody. Really, really do appreciate that. John says, my first game was with my dad in the street end in 1971. We won 8-0. Ball scored... Johnson 4 and Royal 3. Good start. Is right, mate. See, again, 1971, that's what, 50 years to this year. That's mad. 50 years of going to Goodison Park, and within a few years it's going to end, and some fans are going to, not enjoy the first game back because Rafael Benitez is on the sideline. I'm just savouring every moment. Every single moment of being at Goodison Park, I'll be savouring, mate. P-Bash says, I'm new, enjoying the stream. Thank you very much, mate. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second. Hit the like button as well. John Jones says, let's get a nice third shirt. Not sure about the new black one. Yeah, well, again... We don't know the colours, we don't know the design of either the home or the third one yet, but hopefully it's, Hummel smash it out the park. I really like the away kit, I really do, and I thought the 3 kits last year were absolutely unbelievable. I think they smashed it out the park last year, and hopefully they do it again this year. Paul says, being going for 42 years as a season ticket holder is right, mate, love it. Mike says, favourite last minute goal, Cam? Mine was Rzinski against Saints or Andy Johnson versus Arsenal. Favourite last minute goal... You know what? I can't remember specifically like last minute, but late goals, I'd say Ashley Williams against Arsenal is up there, definitely up there. Yelovic's against City has got to be up there as well. I'm not too sure if it was last minute or last 10 minutes. I just remember it being very close to the end of the game. Calvert-Lewin's last year against United was unbelievable though. That was literally last second of the game to get a point. That was amazing. That was an amazing goal. Oviedo's versus United, yeah, is up there as Jonathan Ricketts says. There's a lot there, mate. Semi says, spot on, Cam kits have been bossed. They have, mate. Wormy says, over 29, Hammers, Alan Decore, Delph, Sigurdsson, Tosson, Just Coleman, Gomez, and Bernard are close. There you go. Tom says, all I've known is Goodison Park, the smell of the programmes, the smell of the pies, the beer, the build-up of the crowd. Over the years, my first game would have been 93, I think. There you go. So, with a lot of people have been going to Goodison Park, but even prior to me being born, being on this planet. So, it's it's going to be a really, really difficult day. Obviously, it's a day we all need to get through because we need the new stadium, and it's fantastic news that the new stadium is being built. But it's going to be an extremely difficult day. Don't forget to get your votes in, by the way. By popular demand, I was asked to do a poll on the stream. 62 people have voted so far. How are you happy with Rafa Benitez as manager? As it's settled, as it's digested, yes or no? Get your thoughts in. We'll be finishing the stream in about 2 or 3 minutes or so we'll go through them before we finish. Mike says, sorry, forgot about Yelovic Spurs. One was a mad comeback. Yeah, it was. Tom says, my favourite last minute goal was versus LFC in the FA Cup and moved about 6-0 in front where I was sitting and got Gosling in the FA Cup against Liverpool. Yeah, forgot about that one. Yeah, that's got to be up there as well, isn't it? That was an extra time goal. And I remember I was too young to go to that one. My dad didn't want to take me because I was very young, and I was watching it on ITV at home, and they actually went to an ad break. If anyone watched it at home, you'll know that they actually went to an ad break midway through extra time for some strange reason, and they just come back off the ad break and Everton players were celebrating. It was unbelievable. Sol says Yelovic versus Tottenham, 2 goals to win it in 2-1 in a couple of minutes. Yes, spot on. John Jones says, I paid on the gate at every home game in 1985 and 87 league wins, £5. Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. EFC Graphics says that Yelovic goal was my first game. John says not last minute but ride out in 1995. Great goal again. B says Fabrizio Romano said on his Twitch channel there is nothing between James and AC Milan and there is nothing on Matheus Nunes to Everton. Interesting, mate. Interesting. I do think that the James stuff purely comes from his agent trying to get him a move. I really, really do. The Nunes stuff though is obviously very, very interesting. Blue Nose said if we don't win anything at Goodison at the Fortress, then what chances will we have at Bramley-Moore? Yeah, we need to win. We need to. I want to see Everton lift the trophy at Goodison before we leave because I've never seen Everton lift the trophy before. So, yeah. Danboy says I'd eat a plate of bollocks to see Rafa's audit. Is right, mate. Get in touch with the club and maybe we can get it happening. Danboy says Rafa Benitez is Everton's first man manager since David Moyes. Snake face crab gelati. Keith says, yeah, but still old. Will he stay late and work that hard? Gotta see if he believes it. These managers say all the right things, but I've seen recently it's all smoke. No, you're spot on. You're spot on. Again, look. Dan Boy says I'm prepared to let the footy do the talking. No, obviously you're spot on, mate. You're absolutely spot on. A lot of managers say a lot of things and you know, again, go back on them or don't actually follow through with them, and I get that. We've just had that with Carlo Ancelotti, let's be honest, prime example. So I understand all of that, but all as we can go off at the moment is previous, you know, clubs that Rafa Benitez has worked for, and a lot of the people that have worked around Rafa Benitez and the positivity that they have for him, and a lot of that comes from people saying he's constantly working, he's there, first in, last out, 24 hours a work and all this and all that, and you've seen so far he's only been at Everton 48 hours. He's done an audit to the squad, which he done before he got the job, and he's obviously actively wanting to, you know, who's the transfer targets, who we bringing in, who we going to improve with the squad with. So listen, we'll just have to wait and see. Frank's been going for 60 years. Sol says, my first game at Goodison was a 4-1 loss to West Brom. Never looked back since. Full Everton, mate. Tom says, the big dunk goal versus United in the 1-0 win. Great goal. The header. It's all about the header. Daniel says, Matthias Nunes has said goodbye to Sporting on his story. Interesting, mate. Interesting. EFC Graphics says, what players would you say is a successful summer? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say specific players. Because, again, it's going to be very difficult with FFP, and obviously we've heard some stuff about the Moise Kean stuff, which we're going to talk about in next episode of In Other News, which will be coming out later today, so look out for that one. But we need a right back, we need a right winger, we need a left winger, we need a centre back, probably need a centre mid, and we probably need a striker as well. So a lot of players. Mikey says, James clearly world class on this day, but need younger and hungrier players will personally sell. John says, we thought we were poor in the 70s, but actually we'd be made up now, finishing in the top 4. Yeah, spot on. Wayne says, a right back, a centre back, a cam, 2 wingers and a backup striker and a second goalkeeper. Sol wants Dumfries now, don't care about the rest. Is right. John says, keep the faith, Cam, you will see better times. I thought it would never happen, but we will. And Dave says, picking the phone to Pickford shows he is engaged with the team. Semi says, Nunes, Dumfries and Romero in. Yeah, does show he's engaged with the team, and it shows that he's actively wanting to introduce himself and wanting to wish players good luck and let them know. And look, Jordan Pickford's never met Rafael Benitez, probably never met Rafael Benitez at all. Previous to this, he's played Jordan Pickford, growing up a Sunderland fan, hating Newcastle. Rafael Benitez is a former Newcastle manager, and he's obviously now at Everton, which is a club that, you know, despise Liverpool, and Rafael Benitez is a former Liverpool manager. Everything that, you know, Evertonians or some Evertonians are unhappy with, Jordan Pickford might have had those feelings as well. But Rafa Benitez has picked the phone up to him before he's even met him, before he's even returned to Finch Farm, and said, listen, good luck with England, focus on England, and we'll meet and we'll talk when you get back. How nice is that? It's the little things, isn't it? It's the nice little things. Anyway, let's finish the poll then. Resounding result there, 74 votes on the poll, and the results will be in a second. EFC says we need a squad full of Godfreys. We do. Tom says that was the one, Cam, the header of the few times I felt the stadium shake. Yeah. Tom says help Cam out, hit the like button. If you could hit the like button, it would have been a great deal to me. There you go. Benitez as Everton manager. Again, it's not calculated to 100%, which is a bit mad, but 90% happy and 9% not happy out of 74 people. So you can tell the news is settling in, and you can tell that, you know, it's starting to digest, and people are looking for the positives out of it, which is very, very good, of course. Dosbrick says, hi guys, I hope everyone's doing well. I didn't sleep much last night, but it's not too bad. There you go. You're doing well, my mate. Thank you very much for getting involved. Hope you're okay. Dan says, Benitez will take us to a new stadium, then hopefully Big Dunk will take over. Yeah, well, let's wait and see. But all as we know for now is that construction work on Bramley-Moore Dock will be starting on the 26th of July. Everton have confirmed that Lango Rourke will be on site, and obviously construction workers will be on site on that day to start the first phase of construction on the new stadium, which is extremely exciting. And in regards to Benitez, he's the Everton manager now. We said it yesterday. Let's just get behind him and hope that he's a resounding success. John Jones says, keep going. Great show. Cheers, John. Really appreciate that. John says, Rafa Benitez masterclass. Let's hope so. Semi says, I've gone for happy in the poll. Rafa's in. Get behind him for the shake-up of the club. Spot on. And Wayne says, I'd eat a big bowl of spaghetti balls. Nice for a squad of Ben Godfreys. There you go. Wouldn't we all, mate? Wouldn't we all? Big thanks for watching. EFC Graphics, you're spot on. If that poll was 2 weeks ago, it would have been a lot different. It would have. Spot on, but he's the Everton manager now, so I think a lot of Evertonians are united in just getting behind him and seeing where we go from here. Big thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Why not? That only takes a second as well. We will be back a little bit later on, like I said, with another video. We're going to be doing a another news video talking about some of the transfer stuff, the obviously Moise Kean, you know, information that I've had in the last 24 hours or so, Ben White, all that sort of stuff. So don't forget to join us. It won't be a live stream, it'll be a video, but join us for that one a little bit later on. Massive thanks for watching. Matthew says, great show, mate. Cheers, mate. Really appreciate that. Hit the like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Big thanks to everyone in the live comments. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll get involved with as many of them. Big thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.